So anyway, sorry there.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We'll move on to the next thing. You know what I'm
Oh.
looking at is I'm looking at Matthew's background, and it looks like he's got crack sprinkled on some of those donuts.
It's meth.
Or meth.
It's not
I
blue
mean,
meth, though.
It's not blue.
No,
but anyway,
it's
it
not
doesn't
the good
matter.
stuff.
It doesn't matter because if you live in Oregon, you may now do those things, I suppose, or soon. You know, there's
blue meth donuts.
Really good for your teeth.
For 5 reasons.
Yeah, right. So it seems like, let me pull up the screen share here. Now, again, you know, Reason doesn't give us any kickback for sharing their articles, but they seem to be kind of on top of things.
They've been on point the last few days.
Yeah, they've been on it. So yeah, on election night, the real winner was drugs. There was a meme I saw a few years ago.
Doesn't look like mushrooms, really.
I don't know what that is.
Maybe an intern picked the stock photo.
Who lives in Oregon?
So ballot measures
about this.
Yeah, right. Ballot measures making marijuana legal for recreational purposes passed in 3 states. South Dakota approved both recreational and medicinal marijuana, and Oregonians approved Measure 110, which partially decriminalized all illegal drugs. Okay, so, and what's interesting is that these are like overwhelmingly voted for. This is not just like, they didn't just eke out wins as the article mentions. You know, I mentioned this to a friend and he goes, dude, it's 2020. What group of voters is not going to approve using more drugs?
Yeah, okay.
It's like, oh, okay, I understand. Okay. But this is actually in a good direction. And yet at the same time, you know, we're Christians here, and do I have to say it? We don't condone the use of harmful substances to your body.
Please don't do it.
Please don't do it.
Have another donut.
That reminds me of the time. That reminds me of the time
They're
we told our
great for your
kids when they were
teeth.
Yeah, we told our kids when they were younger, if you don't eat your pizza, you can't have ice cream. And I just looked at my wife and I said,
we've done that.
If you don't have this packed baked carbs, you can't have the frozen carbs. And she was kind of like, oh yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter what they eat tonight. So anyway, yeah. So the issue here is,
what have we become?
Fat.
Yes, we have.
Well, I'll tell you this, and I've coming from the conservative circles, there are quite a few conservative sheriffs who have actually come out strongly for decriminalization of marijuana that are rather popular amongst conservative circles. And there's a whole group of them, sheriffs against marijuana for the legalization of marijuana or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's very fascinating to hear their pitch, because it sounds very reasonable, and it's a very very fascinating thing. And that's at least on that side of the legalization debate. On the other side, you look at states like Oregon and say, can Oregon really though handle that much drug usage? They're already in a precarious position, and you know, there's going to be a spike and a dip and a leveling out of things. How strong is the abilities of those states to handle those things? I mean, you know, you can't just, even though it might be the right thing to do, legalizing something like that so quickly, doesn't that have immediate ramifications on the individual civilization?
Well, maybe
what do you mean by so quickly?
Yeah.
Maybe it will incentivize those states to actually, you know, try and create free market options for drug addiction and things like that. Maybe it will get them to wake up to the reality that, you know, things like universal health care aren't going to provide the programs that drug addicted people actually need. And, you know, so maybe in those areas, if you have a huge spike in drug use, it will cause people to actually sit up and take notice that this is a huge problem. What's going on is a huge problem. This is way more than just COVID-19, and we need more options, and the state isn't giving it to us.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, one of the big revelations that any libertarian kind of has to go through is realizing that drug use, and if we want to call it addiction, whatever, that's fine. But drug use is not a criminality problem, but a health
Right.
problem.
Yep.
That's everybody has to wake up to that in as they go through the process of becoming a libertarian. I mean, it is an absolute given that if you are a libertarian, you're against the war on drugs. If you are not, then you need to re-examine the way you think.
Yeah.
So, and part of that is realizing, that it's a health problem.
Yeah.
So for those people who are not necessarily libertarians yet, but they're realizing that reality,
Mhm.
then this is a good stepping stone.
Yeah.
Because number one,
you know what else? No, go ahead.
No, because number one, the drug war is because of it's so fundamentally tied to the idea of human dignity and human liberty overall. I mean, crazily enough, I mean, like we don't need to go through it all here, but that is the way it is. And because of that, it's a great gateway into libertarianism proper. Not because you're using it, but because through the understanding of the principles, you realize why liberty is fundamentally good.
Well, and if I may, Doug, before you answer, before you do your answer, the other part of the other part of this too is it's not just the health issue aspect of it, but it is also the criminal justice aspect of it. We have this war on drugs has disproportionately affected minority communities, poor communities, and that is a legitimate complaint in 2020.
Yep.
And so, I think, this is something that needs to happen, and I'm all for it.
I think there's also one other thing that needs to be mentioned here regarding, kind of like Matthew's question. And I'm sorry, Doug, I know you were just about to go at it.
Okay.
Really good point.
But
I have a really good point. It's probably the most important one to make of the night.
Oh, what is that?
Well, you were talking about the journey and people converting to libertarianism and things. And I was thinking, about our sponsor, Faith Seeking Freedom.
Oh. Huh,
Libertarian Christian answers to tough questions. The other thing is, and you can actually get it right now. Well, you can get it very, very soon. You can pre-order it right now. It's on Amazon.
Pre-order with one click.
Does it talk about the drug issue here in this book?
Yes, it does.
It certainly does.
Interesting.
Chapter 6.
I'd have to have chapter 6. Thank you. So you'll notice here that it's written by some fine young people.
Wow.
And it's actually a #1 in new release in religious studies, church and state, which is really cool because it's #1 in that release. But if we went up to religious studies and reference, we're actually #2. And we've been
now the
#1.
Wiccans are beating us.
Oh,
Gosh.
Wiccans.
Come on.
Hey,
Come on.
We've been #1, and what's really cool
paganism.
is this book here, The Bible With and Without Jesus, which I'm reading and is really, really good, is actually like by a pretty popular author. So we're ranking up there with some really good people. So actually it isn't. It's just Jewish, so
right.
watch your mouth.
Provocative names, I guess.
Yeah. That's how it works these days, right?
I just want to, if this helps, the question of if addictive or harmful drugs are legalized, doesn't that mean more people will use them? The first two letters are "it's true," or first two words "it's true," and that's all that's in that part of the book.
Matthew, I think what I gave you today might have been a messed up print copy. What question is that?
Oh, a misprint. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a misprint.
Might need to pick it up and read that one.
It's the redacted version for patriarchalists.
Wow. Bringing the hammer down.
Hold on. It says "it's true, sir." There you go.
Oh, goodness.
All right. This book, funny. Go get it. Okay, I told you to go buy the Kindle version, but it will be available in paperback. As you can see, you'll see this weird stripe on the cover. That's because this is a proof copy, and it is, we just to prove to ourselves that it exists. But no,
this will be worth a lot of money.
It feels really good. It feels really good in the hands. It's like it makes a great stocking stuffer. I'm going to say that word, that phrase too many times. Nice. But it's like,
feels good on the face. Apparently,
it's not heavy. It feels good on the face. All right, let's move on to the next topic. That's not going to embarrass me.
That's going to be difficult.
I got to pull up my list. So here's the thing.